Hey, it's Rob from RDLMeThat, and I want to tell you my tips for negotiating, and this is all from the buyer's side. So real quick, I'm pretty experienced in negotiation, 10 years of sales experience, bought and sold a house, bought and sold many cars. So I've been in a lot of these transactions, and I've practiced a lot of what I'm going to say here. So the first thing I want to talk about is there's a difference between negotiating and haggling. So haggling is when you just basically sit there arguing about price. So that means like, okay, they said 1850, you said 1650. Okay, let's 1725. Okay, we made a deal. That's haggling. Haggling, is a good skill to know, but it's not actually negotiating. And I think you can get much better deals by negotiating instead of haggling, because what negotiation is it's a trade of value. If I do this, you will do that. Okay, so now we understand what negotiation is. When I'm in a negotiation, I look at it as like I'm playing a hand of poker. I've got my cards, they've got their cards. If I can see what their cards are and they don't see what my cards are, that's really good. So I always want to find out information from them and also have as much information as I can going into the negotiation as possible. Know about their business, know about um, the car, what the let's say what normal price is for it, what would be a good deal, all that. So you always want to come in doing your homework. Now, good chance is that the other person might not know anything about you, and they're going to start trying to ask you some questions. One of the main questions that you got to be careful about is when you say what your budget is. You never want to tell them what your true budget is. You want to tell them below. So, they might think, well, maybe I can pull them up a little bit, whatever number you say. So, you never really want to truly reveal your hand. You always want to BS a little bit. Now, one of the important things to remember is your mindset is really important. So, as a buyer, you hold the money and you hold the power. And you have to remember that throughout the negotiation. You can always walk away and not buy whatever that seller is selling. And you also want to make it feel like to the seller that whatever they have is not very unique, or maybe you can get it somewhere else, you can get it from someone else, you can get a better deal, you've got 10 different ones you're looking at, whatever that is. So you just want to make sure that you feel like you're in the power position and you maintain that throughout the transaction. One of the big tools that I use in negotiation is time. So if you put time on your side, there's a chance that time will help you get a better deal. If you run into something, you say, I got to make this deal today, the other person can sense your desperation and they're going to throw out the price, and they can tell that you're going to make that deal no matter what. What I like to do is I let somebody know that I'm interested in purchasing and that I could purchase and that I'm a qualified buyer, but then I walk away and I let it sit for a couple days, a couple weeks, depends on the size of the deal. Now, of course, you could lose whatever you're trying to buy, but again, if you're trying to get a great deal on something, then this is the tactic you want to go with. Now, when I talked about trading value, now the other person says to themselves like, well, maybe they need you to make that deal at a certain point, a certain time. So now they're trading getting the deal when they need the deal for giving you a better price. And that usually will enable you to get much more than you would get just by simply haggling and trying to make a quick deal. Another thing that of value that you can trade is in some cases being a cash buyer can be an advantage. So it's possible that the person you're purchasing from might need cash or want cash for the transaction. For example, in a private party sale of a car, a lot of times people cannot get financing to buy that. So as a cash buyer, you have a huge advantage. But when you go into a dealer, they actually might make money off of the financing. So then you lose your advantage. So you got to know who you're dealing with and what the value might be. If you're dealing with a business, another thing I like to trade is reviews. So I always like to let people know that I write reviews for people, and if they do a good job and give me a great deal, I can exchange that for several reviews. And I did this in a case with a lawyer bill actually. So the reviews actually might be really valuable to them because their online presence is how a lot of people buy things. So you always just have to think about what's valuable to the other person. Maybe it doesn't cost me very much, but I can give that in exchange for what I need. So always just be thinking about that when you're negotiating. Hope that's helpful. Subscribe to my channel and like my video and comment if you have any suggestions, questions, or tips. Thanks.